Now, last month, I gave you guys the ultimate bid on XRP, which lined up with our bi-weekly dynamic support. And since then, XRP has ripped a good 82% to the upside. But here's the thing, I'm noticing a lot of people, especially in the previous comment section, you guys, a lot of people calling bluff on this move. But today I'm here to tell you that XRP hasn't looked this bullish in a very, very long time. And in fact, this week's close is telling me that we are actually poised to see more upside on XRP in the short term. Now, I get it. A lot of people are looking at several indicators to justify looking for a pullback on XRP right here. In fact, a lot of people are even looking at crypto fear and greed and noticing that, hey, right now that's sitting at greed. And greed has often lined up with the next pullback opportunity. But when looking at these kind of indicators, it's important to look a few more degrees out. Guys, XRP had been consolidating for 6 months. If I had to ask you, from all of the XRP holders, how many of them actually stayed throughout the 6 months? And how many of them actually capitulated? Because let me tell you something, this crypto fear and greed index here only represents the people who stayed and not the people who capitulated, the people who left, the people who got bored and impatient. Those guys are now on the sidelines. Imagine if they entered right here. What do you think happens to crypto fear and greed? Well, it remains at greed and prices could still keep going up. In fact, the interest data on Google Trends gives us a good visualization of how many people capitulated on XRP. This first peak right here was last year's top. Okay, this is when XRP got up to $3.40. That was the top right there before it then slumped into a 6-month consolidation. But notice how interest tapered off dramatically. And it's only in the last month where interest has actually picked up. But notice, guys, the price of XRP today is higher than what it was back in December of last year. But interest around XRP is nowhere close to the high of last year. So yes, there is quote-unquote greed in the market right now, but that greed is still not a good representation of everything that's currently sitting on the sidelines looking to jump back into position. And to add to the story for continuation, XRP has also broken out of this massive bull flag, while the Mango equilibrium tracker is still in the bullish compression zone. The last time we had a bullish compression was only right here before XRP took off another 400%. And to think that even after an 80% rally, we're still within bullish compression. There's an uncanny resemblance of this cycle to that mega cycle of 2017. Even then, XRP only had 2 instances of bullish compression. Once in April of 2017 and the next one, which was in November of 2017, both of which led to 10x moves on XRP. So suffice to say, there's still quite a bit of juice left on this trade. Just how much juice am I looking for? Well, once again, we're sticking to our $23 target, which is the target of this massive symmetrical triangle formation. XRP so far has been one of my best stories this cycle. We caught the symmetrical triangle way before anyone was looking at it. We've been building our position since before the breakout right here at around 64 cents, and we've been patient ever since. Now guys, if you're looking to catch this next leg of XRP's bull run, well then don't forget to grab the free money at the corner of the room, which is the BitUnix deposit. All you gotta do is deposit $2,000 and they're literally giving you $400 for free to trade with. Not only does this give you more ammo to put on the trade with, but it also helps you buffer against losses. Oftentimes people don't take the trade because they're too scared to lose money. Well, now you get to take the trade and reduce your losses significantly, so you get all of the upside and minimal of the downside of even. Now in the last live stream I told you that 322 was the level I'll be looking for XRP to clear if I am looking for continuation right here. But now, does that mean you buy right now, right here after an 80% pump? No, because managing this position is going to be a nightmare. Well, once again, we're going to keep it easy. We're going to keep it stress-free. We're going to keep it mango. Fall back onto the indicator, the edge that has literally got us every single bid on XRP thus far. and that is none other than the Mango dynamic. Now, you might have a different edge, but if you do, use it. This is where you pull out your tools to not only check your biases, but also help you capture the best bids on the chart. Now, this bid level over here was actually hinged on the bi-weekly dynamic support, if you guys remember. So for those of you who've been riding XRP since then on that bid, well, congratulations, you guys deserve this win. I don't see price coming back down to test that level again, but we can definitely look for something that is close to the current trend. I, for one, am going to be looking towards the 12-hour time frame. Here is the key observation that I've made. It often tends to establish its mid-time frame trend on the 12-hour time frame. Catching bids on the 12-hour time frame have been excellent. For instance, this was last year's 400% move from November to Jan. Every single bid that you managed to capture, either one, led to a significant profit, or two, gave you a clear invalidation with a very minimal loss. So once again, we're going to be falling back onto that same edge, a 12-hour dynamic support. And what's amazing is that there's confluence with that $3.22 region. So that's a macro level lining up with our 12-hour dynamic. Now, for those of you who have big positions on XRP and you do not always want to wait for me to come out here and give you guys the levels on the dynamic, well, then check out the dynamic on the mangoway.com/dynamic. I will be linking it in the description. But right now, here are the levels. $3.22 top of the range, going all the way to the bottom at $3.07. XRP hasn't looked this good in a very, very long time. I don't want you guys grabbing onto straws to look for reasons to be bearish. If anything, I want you guys to look for the next best opportunities on the chart. I'll be presenting more trade opportunities on the Mango Dashboard Premium video section, so make sure you guys are keeping up with that. And also, on today's live stream, there is going to be a $1,000 giveaway. And speaking of opportunities, don't forget to take advantage of the BitUnix bonus. That's free money for you guys to trade with. It's only going to last till the end of the month, so do not fade that. And hey, if you sign up for the bonus, you also qualify for the $1,000 giveaway that happens on every single live stream. And I want you guys to be a part of that giveaway as well. So get your bonus and qualify for the giveaway. I will now see you guys in the live stream. With this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the Mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao, you guys.